I've got a very weird picture I was trying to draw to explain what it looks like kind of from the ground view. So this might be a little bit better. Let's see. Essentially, the main entrance for non-essential personnel, people who are not part of the meeting itself, the audience, will be a tunnel. It's actually, the doors actually come in essentially under the stands there in the center of the room. So that second one that I've sent, hopefully you guys all have, is essentially from that center dais, however you want to say that, looking around. So if you look back towards the stands, you can see there's essentially a tunnel that goes up underneath it. The yellow and green walls are actually walls, not high walls, but kind of waist high, hip high walls. Glass all around it because this was an old ship, so they've cleaned up the glass to make it look nice and pretty around the outside.
Nice. Very nice.
My little squiggles there on the right hand side are doors. That was I'm not an artist, obviously. And the little sections right off the dais are essentially pits. So they're kind of smaller, circled off on all sides with like a little door in them. Pits. So they have seating as well. That's essentially where your dignitaries will be. And then, of course, the council table at the front. Like I said, it looks a lot like you might imagine a Senate hearing or a town hall meeting or that sort of thing here in our world. Okay, so the room's filling up. You're on the outside, basically, crowd of people, lots of stuff. There are security at the door. Like I said, it's only one door that you guys are allowed to come in there underneath the stands that you may use. But security is there, checking people in very thoroughly, checking their passes to make sure they are allowed in. It's very difficult ticket is the best way to put it. So I will leave it to you guys as you make your way up. If you're not doing anything special, we can move on to you stepping to the door.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, am I not going through that door
Correct.
initially? Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll keep quiet.
Yeah, and you're still garbly, by the way.
Okay.
No, you're coming a different way, Jake, but you know that already.
Yeah.
So I will go to Biff. You come up here as you're approaching the door. Security stops you. As you're approaching the door, security stops. I need to see your pass, sir.
So I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. The pass that I have.
Yes, I've heard about you. We do need to check you for weapons, though. Let's see. You're not carrying any, are you? Because that's not very good for this place.
Oh, of course not.
Oh, okay. You will be rolling, I think, in this case, a easy, what are that? Skullduggery, I believe, is the one for you. Is the one for that? Yes, easy skullduggery.
So easy's the one purple?
Yes, that's one purple.
Yep.
And then whatever your skullduggery.
I got a green and a yellow. Okay, so let's see how this goes. This is when I die, right?
Yeah, that's possible. You never know. He's gonna do it.
By the way, that was an amazing intro, JBot. I really loved everything that you just said. I'm hanging on every word.
Yeah, hopefully I remember it all and don't make it up as I go. Okay.
So I wound up. It's a push as far as success failure. I only wind up with an advantage.
Okay. So basically, the way I understand the rules, guys are welcome to fix this. Essentially, it's pushes fail. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, pushes fail. So
with an advantage.
Yeah. All right. So essentially, you failed. So he does find what you're carrying, unfortunately. But let me do something here. If I can find my skill sheet. And we'll see how this works.
I'm like trembling. This is so cool.
One roll in, and I'm already kicked out of the whole.
No.
Arrested and.
Who is that jerk?
No, I rolled on my side, and it's top secret. I know they like you guys to see them, but I think it's fun that you don't know what I'm rolling for. As he's patting you down, he sees somebody behind you trying to make his way through. Like, hey, you don't have a ticket. You don't have a ticket. You have an opportunity to slide by him and slip in unnoticed.
So I'm going for it.
All right. I'm going to let you, what do we have here? Is there anything that's, what is stealth still skullduggery?
No, there is a stealth.
Oh, there's a stealth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll me an easy stealth.
Okay. Let me clear this.
Oh, you're using the dice app.
Yeah. That's what's making all the noise in the background. So if it's too much, I'll shut it down.
No, that's fine. I didn't know. I was like, who's firing blasters?
Although you might be able to mute it if you needed to too. So that
Yeah. Okay.
Never trust the
All right.
dice apps. Just when you need them to work, they fail on you.
Okay. So here we go. Okay, I got 3 success and 1 advantage.
Yeah, you slip in quietly. They don't even notice that you're there. And you see behind you somebody getting, basically manhandled and drugged to the side by a couple security guards. You have no idea what that was about, and basically look as confused as everybody else as you slip through the crowd and into the waiting great hall. As you step in, you see a bustle of people, dignitaries all about. You have no idea who any of these people are, but they look rich and they look fancy, as dignitaries tend to look. And they're just standing around, milling around, talking, laughing. Nothing big at this point. Nothing's happening. Phil, you approach the gate. You see off to your left somebody getting manhandled off to the side. You have no idea what that's about. And you make your way up. A distracted guard asks to see your pass.
Is there any way I can actually go check out that scuffle before I head in?
If you'd like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go and take a peek at that.
Okay. You see a very poorly dressed man. In other words, rags, or not so much rags, but very dirty, filthy, that sort of stuff. Obviously drunk. He yelling, screaming, cursing, nothing really specific. He's just being a nuisance in a sense.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold up. Let me see. Roll me a hard streetwise.
Right, streetwise, you got it. All right. So I'm gonna pass. Just 1 net success, no advantage or anything like that.
He doesn't look as drunk as he seems to be putting on to be. It strikes you as curious that he doesn't seem to be as drunk, or not acting like a typical drunk would.
So maybe faking drunkenness. I don't know.
Possibly.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yes,
So I'll proceed through the
you approach
door.
the gate, sir. Don't worry about him. He's probably just causing problems. Another drunk in the area. I need to see your pass, though.
Here's my pass.
Huh. And we'll also need to check you for weapons. Ooh, that's a nice seat. You must be somebody important.
Yes.
I do have to check you for weapons, though. Is that okay? You can tell he doesn't know how to take this. You've got a really, really good seat, and he's being
If you
very
feel it's
wary of you.
appropriate to check me for weapons, I understand.
Make
What's your
me
name?
a,
What's your name, officer?
Benson, sir. Benson.
Of course, Benson.
Let me
Do what you think is necessary.
Make me a an easy boosted. What is it? Coercion? No, that's intimidation. What's the one where you're talking?
deception. No, that's not it.
Charm?
Charm. Yeah. There you go.
Charm.
Make me an easy with 1 boost die charm roll, please.
Okay.
Phil, just shoot him.
In this game, he could kill 5 people with one shot.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass that with 1 advantage.
Wow, with 1 advantage. How many successes? Just 1?
Just one success. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, sir. He salutes. Yeah, go on in.
Thank you, Benson.
Yes. Okay. So you pass by him, smiling to yourself, of course. As you walk in, the room's starting to fill up a lot more now. You see off to the right-hand side as you walk in, you're coming up under the stairs. You see off to your right in the first little corral there to the right, there are a couple of Imperial officers, pretty low ranking. I'm not good with ranks, just so you know. So if I screw this up, just yell at me. How could he possibly be a Grand Moff? That sort of thing. So you see a couple of low-ranking captains. They're definitely in the Navy. So no, I guess stormtrooper folk, if that makes sense. Nobody in armor. Everybody's in
officers.
just kind of standard nameless, faceless officers of the Empire, as far as you're concerned. Nobody of rank, like serious rank, that you can tell. Off to your left is another group of individuals. They are not in the corral yet. They're kind of moseying around, just kind of milling around the outside of that little corral to the left. They are just chatting. They look like nobles, very well dressed. They're all wearing colors similar to the ones in this, a green and yellow. You've come to learn in your short time in the system that those are the Malibor colors, essentially the system colors, if you were. Their standard is a gold and green. So obviously the great houses follow that as well. But you see a lot of that in their garb, lots of golds, lots of greens, and you take them as nobles. You're like, I'm not sure who any of those people are, but they must be somehow related to the nobility in the Malibor system. Your seat, Phil, is 2 rows back, basically second row, only as you come in the right-hand side. So along that wall, that's right behind the Imperial box or circle, corral. I like to call it a corral for some reason. Yours is essentially the second row. So the first row is the one that's right on the wall. Yours is the one right behind it. You have a seat about midway down. Essentially a square in the middle of where that Imperial box would be. So you have a nice, good sight line into the box. You can see anybody who's sitting in it without any trouble. Biff, your seat, because everybody's assigned seats in these places. That's how ranking works in the world. Your seat's up to the left, 4 or 5 rows from the top. Nowhere specific. It's kind of a general, whoever gets there first gets it sort of seat. But it's essentially behind the nobility box, if that makes sense for you on your little impromptu map.
So the euchre seats is what you're telling me.
Yeah, essentially you're 1 row away from the parking lot is the way I like to describe it. So, but yeah, you're not against the glass unless you want to be, but you're definitely a ways back there.
Okay.
Not nosebleeds. It's not that big of a room. You watch as more people file in over the next 5-10 minutes. You got there a little early, just in case. You never know, you got a fake pass or something like that, so you wanted to make sure you got in first before somebody else. The room looks like it could only hold maybe like 100 people out in the cheap seats, essentially where you guys are at. Each of the little corrals can probably hold a dozen. It just depends on how familiar they want to be with one another. There are 11 seats behind the front arc, the giant table at the front. There's 11 seats. One obviously larger than the rest, but none of them like super ornate. There's no throne in a sense. It is essentially a meeting of equals, but they need to have one chair is obviously for the Burner Guild parent. So, and then there's no nameplates for any of this stuff. So you have no idea who these people are unless you happen to already know them. So you guys sit for 5-10 minutes. You can make small chat if you want to. There's not really, you're not going to get much from these people. They're all, nobility. They don't really know anything when you get down to it. They're there to be seen, and that's pretty much it. That's about as much as either of you will be able to get out of anybody that's in this place.
Is anybody walking around selling beer?
No, I'm sorry. You had to get that from the outside.
No concessions. What is this?
That would be rather funny. I should have done that. That would have been funny. You basically, you can tell the time's coming up. It's one of those things where the rows start to get full and people start to stop coming in. It's more just people looking for their seats, waving at people they know, that sort of thing. A couple minutes before time, you see basically the whole room sort of gets this like, oh my God, like that's kind of odd thing. As the door to your left, from where you guys are facing the table, the double door, or I guess a single door, but the door to your left that's on the side of the room opens, and you see two people enter. One, very, very well dressed. It's understated, but you can tell it's worth a fortune. And you know who this person is. It is the queen of the Parados system. That's Talia d'Arco, the queen. She walks in. She is wearing essentially a very, very nice, and I don't know how to describe Star Wars stuff, and I'm not a fashion designer, but it's essentially a silver dress, gown, dress, that sort of thing. It's not a nightclub dress. It's
okay.
Yeah.
It's
It's not super revealing, nothing like that, but it's very obviously a designer gown, trimmed in crimson. And you don't know this yet, but you would if you'd done any research, and I assume you guys might have. Crimson and silver are the colors of the Parados system. So that is the Parados system colors. Typically, if you see somebody wearing those colors specifically, they might be tied to the Parados system in some way. Beside and behind, kind of catty-corner behind her, is a Chiss female, red dress, tight but not like I said, it's not a little black dress tight, but essentially a very understated red or really dark red, maroon dress.
Is it common to see Chiss in this area?
It's not overly common. They're not unheard of. They do exist out here, but they're not everywhere, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like it would be like any kind of odd race. Like, oh, that was odd. You don't see too many of those around. It'd be like seeing a 7-foot person walk around here. They would stand out for certain, but it's not going to blow your mind that you just saw somebody who's like 6'10" walk by, if that makes sense. Unless it would. Maybe that's what your character's like, holy crap, I've never seen a Chiss before, sort of thing. But you're all, I would assume, traveled enough to be familiar with them. So Chiss female, very short black hair, standard red eyes that you'd see, no distinguishing features. She is wearing silver earrings, silver necklace, and a very large silver bracelet on her left wrist, almost like half forearm, if that makes sense. So from wrist to about halfway up her forearm, very large silver bracelet. None of it looks overly expensive, but you can tell it's still worth a lot of money. You have no idea who she is. These two walk in. The room doesn't go quiet, but there is a lot of gentlemanly, ooh, look at that sort of thing as the two of them walk by into the booth on the left. So the one with all the nobility. And they naturally sit at the front of this. So they are as close as you can get to the table, or I guess to the great house table at the front there. When they sit down, it's almost a cue for the rest of the room to kind of sit down themselves and be quiet, because they realize that if the queen's here, that means they're pretty close to starting. So
are they sitting in the stands or in one of the two?
No, they're sitting in one of the two
pits?
corrals. The one on the left hand, the left hand pit essentially is where they're sitting.
So the
they
one
come
closest
in
to the door they came in on.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't want to have to walk very far. These are noble women, or at least one of them is. So after basically the room goes quiet, we're like, people are like, what's going on? A grand entrance, but not the same sort of entrance as the queen. The right-hand door opens, and you see 3 men walk in. One is a very, hold on, I got his description here somewhere. Hopefully I got it here somewhere. Obviously the governor, based on his rank. That's all I don't know what it looks like, but based on that, he is very, very overweight, stuffed into this uniform, in a sense, chafing in it, if that makes sense. Somebody who's not used to wearing this thing all the time anymore.
Perfect sense.
And bald, obviously, but still with an air of arrogance. Still very much an imperial officer, someone who knows he has a lot of power and isn't afraid to use it. But other than that, he does look a little strange. He's like, I don't think I've seen too many imperial officers that are that overweight, but he sticks out for that reason. But from his rank insignia, I don't know what they look like, but you would know, your characters would know, that's Governor Haskin. So that is Governor Vargal Haston. That's a very full name. He's in front leading it. Behind him is someone with rank insignia for a major. One of you knows who this person is. The other one does not. Actually, might know who this is. I can't remember if I sent that to you or not, Phil. Hold on, let me check my email. I think you might know.
Haskin or someone working with him?
It's the person beside Haskin that's coming in behind him. I think
if it's Major.
Yes, you did find that out.
Major Kretzner.
Yes, Major Kretzner. And then there's a third man behind them. Very big dude. Standard Imperial. Yeah, he looks like muscle. It's kind of the best way I can put it. But he's stuffed into the uniform for another reason. He looks like he's essentially muscle. I can't. What is the black uniforms? The ones that are Imperial, like agent, like the spy network one.
White uniforms or ISB,
white security.
I think.
What's the black ones? Because that's what I was thinking this one was. I was trying to. Essentially, he's not the ISB. What's the other? I might have to know what this is. This is where I fall apart on these things because I don't know all the official lingo. He's essentially what's the ground forces, like the ground military colors. Does that make sense?
Stormtrooper. I think Stormtrooper Corps is black uniforms.
That's what I thought it was black. So essentially, he's wearing that. He's wearing what if you guys know, and this is where I'm not sure if your characters would know this or not. I think both of your characters would. Biff, you certainly would recognize ranks, colors, and all that other stuff. Phil, I'm not sure on your character, to be honest with you. I know you were. Your backstory shows you were around.
Oscalet's had some interaction with the Imperial military in prison.
I thought he did. Okay, so you both recognize him as a stormtrooper captain. Essentially, he is a captain in that branch of the military, of the Imperial military. And like I said, stuffed into this suit. I mean, he looks like a brick bleep house, if that makes sense. So they come in, room kind of goes quiet, a lot of murmuring, but nothing in particular. They come in, air of superiority. They sit down. They basically don't acknowledge anybody. And they wait. And it doesn't take long after they sit down that the doors open on the left-hand side, the same side that the Queen came in. And kind of a cadre, just a mix of individuals comes in. They all are very well dressed. And everything from what look like senatorial robes to, very nice workman's clothes to all of this stuff. Basically the whole gamut, but it's all very nice. It's clean. There's nothing's covered in dirt. They're not, playing to the working class guy that's in their guild. So if it's a, technician, it's not a guy wearing greasy overalls walking in there, to play to his constituency, if that makes sense. But he doesn't look like Mr. Moneybags either. He definitely looks like a very well dressed, like going to church, if that makes sense, version of a technician. So, and that's the idea. So, the trade guild, for example, you could probably pick that one out, even though you don't know who these people are. You're like, that guy's probably the one that's in charge of banking, because he's got the most ridiculously ostentatious outfit. They file in. No ceremony. This is not pomp and circumstance. They file in, they find their seats, and call the meeting to order. Essentially, it's not. This isn't court, but they essentially call this to order. Let me do some stuff right quick. Make sure I got all this. Check my list off of bullet points here. Blah 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 blah. You. Okay. After they sit down, you see, takes a minute or two. They settle in. The hubbub dies down again. Off to your right-hand side, the door opens, and two security guards walk in a Trandoshan, very large Trandoshan. Jake, that's your character, by the way. And not that you guys don't know this, you probably put two and two together. And a human behind him. So 2 security guards escort them in, and there's 2 behind them. So there's a 4 total. They lead them to the center dais that's there in the middle of the room. Dais, however you say that. To the center of the room. Tell them to stand here, basically give them an order, stand here. The 2 leading them walk across the room and stand by the door on the opposite side, so the left-hand side of you guys. The 2 that were trailing them stop at the door as they come in. So you have 2 security guards essentially watching each of those 2 doors. So is everybody with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I'm good.
alone on the dais.
No, there is a human with you that you do not recognize, by the way.
Okay.
Roll a... I got to check the skill on this one. Let's see. What's the one that's the opposes skullduggery? It's
Perception? Or...
Perception. Yeah, perception.
Okay.
Jake, roll me an easy perception roll. That's 1 purple.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yep, I will do that right now.
And I will be sending you a text message here in a moment.
Oh,
Okay.
goody. Text messages. Yes.
Based on what you roll.
Okay. I have... Should I tell you, or...
Yeah, tell me. It doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, this doesn't. They don't know what's happening.
So I failed, but I got
Ooh.
3 advantage.
All right. Fail, man. You guys, I got to work on these dice.
That one difficulty dice
Yeah.
gave me 2 fails. It was...
Y'all need to
Oh.
get dice so you can hear this, like that. Y'all's pew 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 sounds in the background. Like, what is? I mean, I don't know if that dice app's working for you guys. All
Well,
right.
mine is actually the tabletop app, so it actually rolls the dice. It just doesn't have the same sound as yours. But in any case, so you're going to send me a text or a thing
I'm
through.
going to send you an IM through Skype. We'll see how this works. Hopefully it works well and everybody doesn't see this. All right, just typing here. Okay, did you get that?
I don't see anything, but it might be because I actually... Are you using a new profile name?
Yes.
Then
Oh,
maybe you're not my friend. On my contact list, I don't think.
Yeah, hold on, let me see.
Let me add you.
There you go, add to contact. I
All
got
right,
you.
I added. Okay,
Or
good.
one of us will do it.
All right, so now put it in there.
All right, let's try it again. To Jake. Yeah, some random stranger just sent you a... That's what Skype's like. Some random stranger just sent you this weird message. All right, to get that one?
Yep, got it.
All right, excellent. Okay, so they march these 2 obvious prisoners into the room and stand them on the dais in the center of the room. Little hubbub, as these things tend to be. People pointing, is that who they're talking about? Is that the lizard? They're using all sorts of names. That's I'm not sure what racial epithets are in the Star Wars universe, but I might end up using some of them tonight. We'll find out.
Go for it.
I'll make them up as we go. How about that? Okay, so after they get stood there, the person in the center chair stands up. My name is, for those of you who do not know, I have to find the full name here, Talmira Brosos. It's a female. And I am the mother of the Burners Guild. We have gathered here to discuss a very troubling bit of news that we have come across. It has been confirmed, I'm not really sure, but it's been confirmed, at least as far as many of you are concerned, that the Empire is kidnapping Malibor citizens, guild members, and putting them into slavery. Now, obviously, we can't have that happen. We cannot allow such evil to persist. So we are here to meet to figure out if this is true or if it's all just lies. If it's true, then we might have to have a very long discussion with the great house council to decide whether or not we want to continue dealing with the Empire at all. As she speaks, you see Haskin being very perturbed, just kind of very obvious signs of discontent. Fidgeting. You can see he's boiling. He doesn't like what he's hearing. She continues. We very much appreciate that the Empire is taking these accusations seriously and is not sending a flunky to answer them, but the person in charge of their entire force here in the area. So, on behalf of the council, I welcome Governor Haskin to these proceedings, and hopefully, when all this is said and done, we will still have a relationship to play on. I don't like to make enemies, but if we have to, we have to. We cannot abide by our civilians, our citizens, our guild members being taken from us. Let me see where I'm at here on my sheet. She sits down, and you see one of the other council members stand up. It's a man, but he doesn't name himself. He stands up. He's on the right-hand side, about 3 chairs down. He doesn't name himself. He just stands up. I think he expects that everybody knows who he is. He is the very obviously wealthily dressed one. You would guess he's probably a member of, or the leader of the Traders Guild. That would be your guess, just based on him looking like a banker, looking like Mr. Moneybags. He stands up and kind of motions to the room. He goes, I think it's also important that we thank Her Highness, Queen Talia d'Arco, of our friends in the Parados system for visiting us at this time. We know it's a rare event that our houses get together for such a meeting, and I'm glad to see that she's come by to see how these things go. I hope that our relationship continues to be good, to be as well as it has been for all of these centuries. I'd hate for anything to change that in the near future because it's very lucrative for both of our systems. And I'm very glad that she came by, and she's taking this as seriously as we are. It shows that the Parados system, like we've always known, cares for its people and the people of this entire sector. And after that, he basically goes on to describe the charges and essentially the history that I gave you guys of how this all began. Because we were hearing rumors, of course, that guild members were disappearing. It's not unheard of with so many people in the system, of course. And I'll be honest, none of us really took it seriously until this Trandoshan here was caught trying to sell one of the missing person's private property. That obviously alarmed everyone, and I think it's understandable why my friend here from the security group, Mr. Telso, he points to his right. You see a very large man, mustachioed character, nod. He's my friend here from the security guild. Did what we would expect. He captured the individual, the person you see before us, and questioned him. Where did he get the knife? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Telso, that the Trandoshan told you where he got this knife. Telso, the person he's pointing to, security, he doesn't bother standing. He answers, yes, my agents did question him thoroughly. You hear a murmur of laughter deep in the group. And I do believe they were able to get a full confession. But I think it's best if we hear it from his mouth. So, he actually does know your name, I believe. What was the last name again? Turnock.
Turnock.
Do they call them Mister? Do they call these aliens Mister? That's where I get lost in Star Wars. They use
interspecies formality, right?
right
Yeah.
interspecies. Tell the council and all of these assembled guests turn off what you told my agents.
I have been taking people for the Empire, and I get a bounty for each person I bring in, and a bonus for the more talented the individual.
You hear the crowd. A lot of hubbub.
I'm
and,
definitely going to be doing that too. Outrageous.
Yeah, a lot of outrageous. I can't believe that. Blah, blah, blah. You can't believe that.
Scum.
Was that all? I know there was more. How did this work? You just kidnapped them and then took all of their stuff, dumped off a naked body to some Imperial holding cell, and then went and sold all of their possessions for your own monetary gain?
When I captured my prey, I was given an Imperial contact. I would drop them off at the location. The personal belongings were mine to do with as I pleased. I was clumsy, and I got caught.
Yes. Yes, you did. Would you happen to know the name of that Imperial contact?
I was not ever given a name. I could only recognize his face.
Is there a chance that that Imperial contact is in this meeting hall today?
I'm going to turn my character around to the Imperial little area, and I'm going to point at the major next to Governor Haskin. That is the man who I delivered the bodies to.
Of course, the room erupts, naturally. Everybody has... You can tell everybody's already bought into this. They don't need to be convinced. The assembled nobility, everybody is already convinced of this. They've been hearing the stories for a long time. Hold up just 1 second. Here, I need to take a drink of water. I want to do that while I'm on the voice recording. Talk amongst yourselves.
I do have a question. Am I in handcuffs or bindings or anything?
You are not, but you're unarmed, and they don't expect you to cause any trouble.
Roger that.
Hold up, this is really good water.
Slurp away, my friend. Drink deep, my friend.
I find it hard to believe that you're not in shackles or something. I mean, it's not like the Transitions are like weaklings or anything.
Oh, no. They think they've beaten him out of character.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They think they've beaten him. I mean, think about it. They captured him the first time. These are security guards. This is what they were. They're police. They're used to doing this sort of thing. Used to dealing with aliens of all sort. And like I said, they've beaten him. He doesn't have a weapon, and they've got 4 security guards around the room. What's going to happen? So, in response to this, obviously the thing, blah, 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 blah. Haskins stands up, outrage on his face. Why should the Empire be subjected to such scandalous lies? His kind can be found in Imperial prisons across the galaxy. I have no doubt he stole your citizens' property. But to even insinuate that the Empire would be connected with a creature so stupid as to sell his ill-gotten gains so close to where he stole them, beyond belief. You see another council member stand up. One of my data scrubbers came across this file earlier today. It's quite the interesting read. You see Haskin draw back a little bit, not really sure of what's about to happen. Names, the council member continues. Names, dates, transaction amounts, quantities of, quote, live cargo. There's enough here to bring charges against a number of individuals, including a Major Kretzner, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the man sitting to your left. Of course, the room is just in a frenzy, but they're trying to keep it quiet to see what happens. Kretzner pops up next to him. Lies! This is outrageous! Are we to believe some leak of information just because it just so happened to be released mere hours before this meeting? If this evidence is so damning, where was it yesterday? 2 weeks? 2 weeks ago or any time early enough for this data to be vetted. Of course, he's on the verge of panic. He's been named by a witness. He's got data from this, so you can see why he might be in a panic. Of course, lots of boos and hisses coming from the crowd now. This man has been pointed as a conspirator in all of this. Talmira stands up. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong person here. Blah, 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 blah. One of the other council members, who you still don't know the name of these people. It's unfortunate none of y'all looked into that, just out of character, by the way. Major Kretzner makes a very good point, Arvin. She leans over to one of the other people. Where was this information back when leans over to the person who stood up to give about the data file. Mm-hmm. She basically is responding to him. Where's that? Where was this information back when the Trandoshan first admitted his connection with the Empire? Haskin pipes in. Exactly. The point I've been trying to make. This creature can't be trusted, and obviously someone's trying to make his lies believable. This is a convenient leak. Why don't we hear what this other man has to say before drawing unfounded conclusions? Talmira, the lead, tries to get everybody back to order. All right, settle down. All right, tempers are flaring. We get it. All right. Learn Danso, she's pointing to the guy. From my information shows you escaped from enslavement. Please explain. He steps forward a little bit in front of you, Jake. He's the man beside you on the dais. You've never seen him before.
Gotcha.
Just so you know. I was walking back to my hab after my shift a couple of weeks ago, and I was mugged, knocked unconscious. And when I woke up, I was tied up in a dark room. Luckily, I had my lucky boot knife on me, and I was able to get free. You hear some people in there, oh yeah, nodding. I was sneaking out when I overheard some people laughing and talking in the room next to me. They definitely weren't Imperials, though. There were 2 humans and a Trandoshan. They were wearing dark jackets, black or blue, I think. It was hard to see in that dark light, with the large white hand on the right-hand shoulder. Let's see. Everybody give me a hard perception roll.
Okay. Hard is 2 dice?
Hard is 3.
3, okay.
Yes, 3.
All right.
I'm take a drink of water. We all do this.
Yep.
And that was perception again? Perception?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So I failed with a net 0, and I have 2 advantage.
Jake, yours is 1 less. Yours is an average. I'm sorry. You're at a different position.
So just the 2 dice.
Yeah, 2 purple.
All right.
And then whatever your perception is.
Okay. I get a success with an advantage.
All right. And Biff, what'd you roll?
I was a push, so it's a failure with 2 threats.
Ooh. This is going to be fun. Biff, you get caught up in this and lean forward. A woman in front of you, very amply chested, thinks you're looking at her and, what are you doing? Shoves you back. Phil, yours had an advantage. Is that correct?
That's right. Push with advantage.
Okay. You notice somebody to your right in front of you, a couple seats up to the right in the row in front of you, kind of shuffling around weirdly, if that makes sense. Almost like he has to go to the bathroom, if that makes sense. Just kind of fidgeting strangely. Not hubbubbing and rah, rah, rah like everybody else. Just a little odd. Jake, you said you made yours?
Yep, it was the 1 success with 1 advantage.
Okay. You see, as you look around the room to see how everybody's reacting to him and this man's story, as you turn to your left, and I know everybody else is going to hear this, but that's okay.
Before I hear anything,
yes.
So I don't have any extra knowledge here, I'm just going to very casually put my hand on where I've been hiding my blaster, like in my belt,
Okay.
Sort of just
Gotcha.
In case I need to pull quickly.
Right.
Do you need to text it to me?
Let's do that. That's not bad. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, do it.
All right.
Not to break the immersion.
Text text some incorrect information to Biff.
I think Biff's the.
I'm not reading it. I'm too busy looking at the scenery.
He's not even paying attention to the guy up front anymore. He's like, man, those things. I can almost slope down those with some skis. Okay, yeah, hold on. Let me type this out to him. I'll take a second if I can find it. All right, so basically Jake's in the center of the room, so he's got a really good view on everything, so he gets a little bit better roll. I almost forgot that. This might take a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Got my notes here. I have 2 pages of bullet points, so this is taking me some time to figure out where I'm at. Just so you guys know.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah.
Surprised at how vexing these difficulty die are being for me far in the game.
All right, let's see. All right, let's see.
I think I just picked up a new goal for the session. I'm going to try to go home with a dinner date.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Get your charm roll ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're just a scrawny human, you might need to do a deception check too.
That's right. It's you're human, right? You're the only human in the group, right?
Yep.
Yeah, human boss and Trandoshan.
That's right. It's quite the interesting crew. If I can get you guys together, who knows?
Yeah,
I've seen parties kill each other before, so it's happened.
Well,
I shoot that. Did you see 3 people sneaking in over a wall? I shoot the rope. All right, roll it. We'll see what happens.
Oh.
Everybody roll damage. It's like,
oh my
whoop,
gosh.
there were 2 people. All right, you guys, y'all start making new characters, and meanwhile, the rest of the
amazing.
Yeah, sometimes these getting people together can be a little bit, iffy.
That's cool, though. That's cool.
All right, let me finish this up. All right, still typing. So you got 2 advantages, is that right?
No, one success with 1 advantage.
1 advantage, okay. All right, let's type this out. If I can get it typed right here. All right. Okay. All right. All good?
Yep.
Okay. So, of course, the crowd is rah, 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 going crazy at this. He continues. The way they were talking, their gang's been in the system for months, picking up people to ship out of the system. One of the people stands up, or not stands up. She talks from her seat. Was this the same Trandoshan she saw, or you saw, pointing towards you, Jake?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was. I'd recognize this creature anywhere. Haskin. You see? Lies, no doubt designed to undermine our alliance with the Malabor people. The same council member. This certainly demands more thorough investigation, and I think we owe the governor and his subordinates an apology. Learn Danso, that's the person standing next to you. Mm-hmm. I appreciate your candor, and I thank you for your help in preventing the unjust persecution of the Empire. One of the other ones stands up, or not doesn't stand up from his chair. Before you go, Mr. Danso, did you happen to catch the name of the pirate bands that kidnapped you? Like, who the hell were they? I mean, we weren't really aware of any pirates working in the system. Danso turns to answer the question, and everybody needs to roll me. Let's see. Biff. This is going to be fun.
Oh, boy.
You need a vigilance roll and throw 1 black die into that, please. Vigilance is it's simple. It's always simple. So a simple vigilance, whatever your vigilance is.
So I'm not throwing any purple dice? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no purple dice, but you get 1 black die.
All right.
Phil, standard cool check.
Okay.
With 1 boost die. Jake, same
Mhm.
thing.
Cool with a
Cool
boost.
with a boost, correct.
So,
Okay.
is that any purple dice? What is standard?
No. There's no purple dice in any of this.
No
It's
purple dice, just
yeah,
green. Okay.
yes, a simple check. This is initiative. It's an initiative check, just so you guys know.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I have 1 success.
Okay, so you have 1 total. All right, let me
Yep.
write all this down because I got to roll for my stuff too.
Oh, I rolled well that time.
All right, so Jake, what do you got?
I got 1 success and 4 advantage.
Oh,
I don't think advantages do anything, and
Probably not, but
let me double check. I got to get the giant Bible out here to.
well, according to my handy dandy sheet on page 219 that you told me to look at.
Is it on there?
No, but
Oh.
you could potentially use advantages for something else.
Oh no. No, not during this. That's like
Yeah.
common.
Yeah.
But it is pretty close to there. Now you got my it's 210, I believe, is where it was. Let's see. No, it's only in cases of ties. All right, so you rolled 1. Is that right?
Yep. And Phil rolled.
Phil rolled 1 as well.
I had 1. Yep.
Biff.
I got 2 successes.
Ah,
Biff, somehow.
Wow, Biff.
Yeah, no, let me roll mine right fast.
Yeah, I think the lady in front of me slapped me, and it kind of brought me back to the front.
Yeah. I agree.
It might have. Oh, I got.
No dinner for me.
And did you get any advantages?
No, sir.
All right. These are. All right, so I'm writing all this junk down on my sticky notes. Oops. Yeah, you got nothing. And you got 1 somehow. All right. So how combat works in this world is that obviously you roll an initiative, so you know combat's about to happen. Essentially, you guys roll initiative and it carries through the whole combat. But you don't run on your initiative. You work as a group. So
We can
basically
choose who goes first.
right, you choose who goes in any slot. Okay, so what I have for you guys is NPC slot at the top. If y'all want to take note of this, so there's 2 NPC slots at the top, and then it is Biff, but basically a PC slot, so a player character slot, and then you 2, player character, and then 2 NPC slots at the end.
Roger that.
Based on all the rolling, which is actually exactly how I planned it. Holy hell! How the hell did I roll that? The dice know. The dice know. The dice know a good story when they hear one. Let me write out everybody here. So yeah, so you guys conveniently are all in one group. Y'all can choose essentially what order you want to go in when stuff starts happening. But
cool. Yeah, it shouldn't matter too much.
Yeah, since you're all together, it won't matter too much. But if you were mixed, like NPC,
Right.
PC,
Yeah,
it might actually,
yeah.
it might actually be important. Okay, and I need to do something very, very bad, which I've got to look up the roll for. Anybody know what page weapons are on? Just off hand.
Yeah. Weapons, gear, and equipment is in
173.
Thank you.
73. That's where it starts.
That was my
There's a
voice.
table there.
Yes. Good. That's what I need. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. Beautiful. Ooh. Very, 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 very ugly. Okay. That was something. Okay. So